Morning.
Good morning.
Today, I'm interviewing Drebra Sterling. I'm Susan Saylor, and we're going to be talking about Pathwork. Drebra, how did you get involved with Pathwork? How did you find out about it?
Well, I think that Pathwork found me. I remember, I'll never forget this. It was the first summer of COVID. And I was just feeling really frustrated, really frazzled. It was maybe like a week before my birthday. And what I do when I feel that way, I go to my local bookstore. It's a small used bookstore in Kingston. And I went straight back. I don't know, it was just this energy just pulling me straight back towards the back of the store where they have all the esoteric and all the spiritual texts that don't really fall into any category. And I found a small, actually it's behind me right here. It's a Pathwork lecture in booklet form. And it's lecture number 237, Leadership and the Art of Transcending Frustration. So me feeling the way that I was, that just immediately drew me. And that's what I've been ever since. As soon as I saw the booklet, I bought it. I brought it home. I took it to Provincetown, which this is where we spent our birthday. And I got up every morning and read it. And when I came home, I got into finding if, first of all, if Pathwork still existed. I wasn't sure. And I found that it did, to my joy and delight. And I had my first helper back then. And then it was she who suggested that I hook up with the Pittsburgh Pathwork. And I am all the way up in upstate New York. So to me, it wasn't a problem. And Pittsburgh, I'm happy to say, it's my home base for my Pathwork studies. And I think that day was really a hinge, like we call in Pathwork. It really opened up the door to an incredible run here for the last 3 years.
So 3 years.
Yeah.
Well, that is an incredible run. And I really see why you say Pathwork found you.
Oh, yeah.
That's a powerful,
Oh, yeah.
powerful beginning. So Pathwork drew you initially because of this one lecture. And once you became more involved with Pathwork, especially with Pittsburgh Pathwork, what kept you coming back?
I'm a very brainy individual. I like to find the reasons behind the cause. So that's why something like a straight up reading of a Bible didn't really connect with me until I started reading and learning Pathwork lectures. And I was so attracted by the psychological, mystical approach, as well as the very spiritual. It's God-based, which, God could mean anything to a bunch of different people. And it's also, it has also some touches of Christianity, which is the religious course that I grew up with. So it was very familiar. But all the thing that really kept me is that you could pretty much apply this to anybody. Anybody. You could talk to somebody who's very religious. You could talk to an atheist, and you could go to them with a spiritual aspect of Pathwork. You could go to it with a psychological aspect of Pathwork. You want to talk to a psychologist? Hey, we got the ego. Freud talked about it. So you can bring the Pathwork principles pretty much. I think it has a universal applicability that I found lacking in the more established religions or whatever, the most established courses of study.
Oh, I see.
And made it really easy for me to understand. Yeah.
So one of the things Pathwork does is it makes an impact on how we live our lives. How would you say Pathwork has worked on you?
One of the things that pathwork focuses on is self-responsibility. That to me hit so deeply because it meant that I can find a different way of living by stopping to look at myself instead of blaming the other. When you look in, and it forces you to look inside yourself. It forces you to look inside yourself. Okay, hold on. You know that's not getting you anywhere. So you bring it in. And what that does, where before it would lead into a fight with my partner or a really ugly rub, now I'm learning. And again, this didn't come right away because it's hard to be like, wait a minute, I'm responsible for that? No way, it's her fault. But once you turn that around, you notice that the friction, it just disappears. You're taking it upon yourself, which is something that I like to do a lot. It's my personality. You're taking upon yourself to dissolve an otherwise explosive situation. And you know what happens when something explodes? There's just like mayhem everywhere. So to see that everything is intact and better because I took responsibility for what was going on, it's been amazing. We were headed, I think that in my relationship, we were headed our separate ways. And pathwork has taught me how to use this relationship to really get to the bottom of who I am. So that is very powerful.
Oh, it really is, Drebra.
Very powerful.
Yes,
it'll transform anything that it touches. I believe so.
That's been my experience too.
Yeah.
So pathwork is not easy.
No.
What is most challenging for you about doing pathwork?
Self-acceptance. Pathwork dares you to accept yourself for who you really are. You're good, you're bad, you're ugly. And I learned that my whole entire life, I spent it shoving down the things that I didn't like about myself. And not only did I start to understand how that was creating problems in my life, but I lack the words to explain. Susan, maybe you can help me, because in that hard work, there's so much that comes after. It's like, I don't know, mining for diamonds, right? It's hard work, but then you get this piece of rock, and then you still have to chisel it, and you still have to get to the shiny part, the valuable part of it. That's how pathwork is. You're gonna have to go in there, and you're gonna have to get your shovel, and you're gonna have to get dirty and dusty. But at the end of the day, you're gonna get that.
That's a wonderful metaphor. I really like that. So in some senses, you've already talked about this, but what would you say is the most significant change that you see in yourself because of pathwork?
I'm creating my own reality. You know, I dare to say, this is how I see myself, and I'm able to see it manifest. And I don't know how that, I mean, because it seems such like a gigantic leap from, oh, here's pathwork to here you are manifesting your life. But that's what happens when you understand and you will yourself to understand. There's a lot of willpower there that you need to do.
Oh, yeah.
When you will yourself to understand that. This is so amazing.
It really is.
And you know, for those of us who have been doing this, I get tongue-tied just trying to convey what pathwork has to offer me. I think that at the end of the day, we just got to live it. in order to show what it is like, because it's so hard to put into words. I even forgot what you asked me because it's such a big. Ask me that question again.
Well, I was asking you the most significant way in which your life is different because of path work.
I can
You've
only
touched on
say
that.
I can only say that I am much more clear about my life. I'm much more clear about putting it into practice. I'm much more clear about the fact that I can create my own reality just by sheer, just by taking films, just by being self-responsible.
Yeah.
Right? It we have something in Pathway that this is what we're doing right now. I am also taking the transformation program, and we are reading affecting and being affected. Is Pathwork lecture 188. And in this lecture, the guide speaks about the key of life. And basically what the key of life, what the guide says the key of life is your willingness to accept the evil in you. Now, how does that work for me in creating my own reality? By saying I hate and stopping before I say I hate on, I'm creating my own reality. I'm not spreading hate, so I'm bringing in harmony. So I went from hating on to saying I hate, and that's okay. It's not who I am all the time. It's who I am at this moment. So I don't have to incinerate the entire world with my hatred, thus creating a new reality, peace and harmony. And it's so easy to do that just by starting at home, where the closest challenges are. If you're married, if you have kids, if you live with another person, this is where the work is. If there's any rubs, if there are any misconceptions, if there's stuff going on, you could look at that and be like, okay, I hate this feeling that I feel is hate, but I'm not going to put that on you. And the way I save you from my evil, while also not identifying with it and not spreading it. I think that's one of the most important things that I have gotten from Pathwork.
And you've expressed it really eloquently, Drebra.
That's one of the things that I think have really made the most impact. Knowing that you are not this permanent reality. It's a temporary thing. Yeah. And you don't have to infect anybody with it.
We have touched on a lot of aspects. Is there anything that you would like to add that we haven't really talked about yet?
Just my pure desire to make this more known. And to, I just gotta watch myself in my enthusiasm sometimes. But really, and I know that people say, well, everybody goes through their own, spiritual practices and paths, or everybody chooses their own thing. But I'm telling you, from somebody who has pretty much studied every single religious tradition there is, this brings it all in. To me, you could throw everything in here and it'll make sense of whatever you study: Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity. So I think that we have, I don't know how many believers of a certain, we have, I don't know how many Muslims, how many Catholics, how many Christians in the world, right? Hitting each other and saying that my religion is better, my religion is better. They come to Pathway, they find out that they're all the same. So the thing that I would like to add is check it out. Check it out. Look at us, you know, we got social media, we got YouTube videos. Check it out, because the proof that Pathwork works, it's in the working on the path. And it's about self-responsibility. You want to do it? How bad do you want it? How courageous do you want to be? How much willpower are you willing to exercise? So there is, I'm telling you, you try it once. We have 258 lectures. Try one. And
You are a powerful advocate for
come
Pathwork.
and talk to us. I'm all in. Like we say, all in, because I do really believe that just finding the common denominator that can either go with or maybe upend everything that you've known up to this point. I think that's very powerful. And we need more of that
Very
in this
powerful. Thank you for doing this interview, Drebra.
Thank you. Thank you for calling me up. I couldn't wait to tell you how excited I am about this. I just want to share with all the world, you know.
You have conveyed that. Thank you.